What's going on, guys? I didn't forget about you. I was gonna make this live, but I'm tired. I've been cleaning up all day and washing clothes, cleaning dishes. I'm tired. So I'm gonna have a video for Rumble in the morning. I know it's been a couple days. I try not to do daily for Rumble or DZ Report because I like to put my grind mostly into this channel. Shout out to Showtime, man. I was on his show. He let me up. Cook on the StreamYard today. Great, man. Great. Make sure y'all support Showtime. Showtime is a guy who I've been listening to since Ticket TV. He's a guy who is very fair, speaks on both sides of things. And even if he does support, people still hate on him when he supports, but whatever. F those haters. Shout out to Showtime. Shout out to Casino for Life, Jag Sports, Scrub Zero, Foodland Speaks. Foodland Speaks practically told me about this earlier. Who did it this time? Kingdom Cast with C Pen and them sorry Kansas City Cheeks. Shout out to Bear Theater, One True Emperor. Says Talk Sports, Quita Love Sports, who else? MDT Sports, The Mac Mizzle Show, and Leaf Diggy. Now, Uncle Guzzler, Unc Guzzler, and No Clue Ocho. Every time I see this show, Ocho don't know what he talking about. They're basically saying that the Storm were hating on the Fever, hating on Caitlin Clark, let her cook. Nobody has a problem with Caitlin Clark. The problem people don't like is her front running attitude, and I keep telling people she's a front runner. When she's winning, she does this braggadocious behavior, clapping, talking trash at the opponent's bench. But when she's losing, she don't keep the same energy. This is why I don't like her or LeBron. Her and LeBron are the same player. When they front run, they are the biggest leaders, the best player on the court. But when they're losing, they're sulking, they're spiteful, they're throwing their temper tantrums. And it just gets on my nerves at times because Shannon Sharp and Ocho doesn't keep it up. Well, Ocho, he be lost. Shannon basically is saying let her cook, and da-da-da. Okay, but the game was a blowout. It was done by then. If you're on the Patreon, I explained to you about the Noah Quinn and Christy Sides thing. So check that out. But Shannon came on here saying that they don't want to let her cook. She could play. It's not because she's white and all of this stuff. Nobody's saying Caitlin can't play. I think you're misreading what the critics and those like myself talk about with Caitlin. We as people are tired of, and it's not just basketball, it's any sport or it's any genre of music or entertainment. When someone of the pink community decides to play, like, let's say a basketball, or they rap or they do movies, and they're doing something which is dominated by blacks, they tend to get over glorified and pushed on a pedestal. Now everybody's going to be like, well, but LeBron is black, so how do you put him in this situation? Because LeBron is also a propaganda piece. Black people can also be used as a propaganda piece. They also can be used to push an agenda. they can be used to push an agenda. She's seen as the innocent person. She doesn't do anything wrong. Shannon basically is saying, oh, I love her and I love Angel Reese. And when it's like, okay, you guys are the main people who basically never gave Angel Reese her flowers until she had that, until she started this streak. And then she had that monster game against Caitlyn and them in Chicago. All of a sudden, now you guys want to talk about her because you see that she's bringing money into the league. I said earlier in the video today that they did everything in their power to bury her. To bury her where you wouldn't even think to look. But for Shannon Sharpe to defend this, my issue is, why did Skylar bump into her? Because she's been flailing that arm all game. She's been offensive fouling all game. She's been flopping all game. And she extended her arm where she pushed Skylar damn near into the first row. But nobody's going to see that because they're caught into this Caitlin Clark facade. They're caught into a daze. They're caught into a daze. And the daze is... The daze is that everybody is trying to cap. Like, you got this lady right here who you could tell who you tell never really watched basketball before. See, stuff like this is pushing an agenda that is making it very dangerous for people. What is people mad or jealous at Caitlyn for? Nobody's jealous at Caitlyn. Look at this lady. She don't even look like she know anything about basketball. And she probably doesn't. She only knows Caitlin Clark. This is Rachel Anna Marie Demita. These are the people who are spreading more of the agenda. It's not just mainstream media. Nobody hates Caitlyn. People hate the fact that she's getting away with a lot of dirty stuff on the floor. But if they were to do it, they're going to be seen as the villain. And this is the stuff that people are getting upset about. Hearing these propaganda pieces, these negative narratives. You see this? They pay people like this to spread the negativity because they know you as a community are dumb. You're going to just see this and say it's true, when it's far from the truth. When it's far from the truth. Where's the other guy at?
By the way, speaking of basketball,
guys like this. Dan Patrick never spoke on WNBA sports or anything ever. I know because I've been watching Dan Patrick since he was on SportsCenter in its inception. Dan Patrick reacts to Caitlin Clark. This is all he talks about is Caitlin Clark. So when you're spreading these false allegations and these false propaganda pieces, dumbass people come and listen to this bullshit, and then they want to just run to everybody else and try to feed the same lies. This is all he promotes. That's it. So his fans are those that don't look like us. He is marketing to white people and Tobys and UTs. Gotta have your one Toby nigga, your token dude. Gotta have him in the stew, right? So he can validate the hate they'll show towards any black athlete. Right? That's what they do. Like this by Shannon Sharp. This ain't no white hype. Yes, it is. This is white hype because this is what the media and the mainstream is doing. Look at this. The WNBA doesn't know how to handle Caitlin Clark. All the ridiculous takes by people who never watched the W, never experienced the W until she came. Right? Shannon, you're talking about A'ja Wilson. Man, A'ja Wilson's going to win that MVP again. Like, she's been the best player in. Well, why didn't nobody promote? Why weren't y'all talking about A'ja Wilson like that? Y'all promote people that are of white ethnicity, correct? That's what y'all do. See, look at this. Clear victim mentality. She shoved me, making her look like the innocent white girl. And this is the problem we have, Shannon. This is what we have. You only show the aftermath, but you never show during the game. Until she was exposed in that fever game when she elbowed Kennedy Carter on the other end of the court. And see, this is the stuff that they're put up. They're putting all these narratives out here because they want to promote her. She balled out against a sorry Mercury team, which has been sorry all year. Look at them. Make fake stuff. See, this is why people are messed up on the internet and in person. They're making up fake narratives. Fake narratives. And this is very dangerous. Fake narratives. You don't believe me? Let me show you. Barely touched her. She was grabbing the girl number 35's arm. See how she grabbed number 35's arm? Look at all this talk. They did the same thing in college. Y'all telling me about the WNBA. They're doing the same thing here. Calling it bullying. Right? Oh, what's up with that? What's the difference? Why don't you talk about this, Shannon? See how she's grabbing her arm? The girl trying to get her off of her, and then Caitlyn went flopping. Look at her. Y'all want Lisa Bluter to coach her? She ain't even listening to her. She doing the same thing to Lisa Bluter she doing to Christy Sides. This girl is a fraud and a con artist. Oh, you saw that, huh? Pop the girl in the mouth. Look. Boom. Hit her in the mouth. Then tried to play victim. Right? She's doing the same thing in the WNBA that she's doing in college, Shannon. This is why Skylar Diggins bumped her. Because you know what she did? She kept pushing Skylar with that off arm. But calling all the black girls thugs, doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound like they're doing that now in the WNBA? That they're saying everybody's a thug. And that's what she does. She's doing the same thing in the pros. Doing the same thing in the pros. They're running the same narrative. Calling everybody a thug and all of that. But nobody mentions what she does, right? She's another hype job that they're putting out here for all of y'all to fall blame to. Nobody sees the dirty plays that she do, but y'all only see what a other person does. See, when she's front running, she's the best teammate in the world, right? When she's losing, she's crying. Shannon Sharpe and them are trying to bring up a narrative. See, look at this. What I told you. She is not only Roy, she is MVP. I told y'all they was going to put her in the MVP conversation. I said this before the season. I told y'all this. Y'all didn't want to believe me. They are pushing this girl because they want to make her that person. Right? They want to point narratives. And people are tired of it, Shannon. That this girl is getting away with throwing elbows and throwing arms. And this is the machine pushing her. So this is the dangerous stuff that is going on, Shannon. Nobody was hating. At all. Now, let me show y'all something. Don't worry about this punk in the corner. Now, watch her extend this arm. She's going to extend the arm and swing it to create space, which should be an offensive foul. Watch this. Saw that? How she extended that arm? That's an offensive foul. You cannot extend the arm. She did this all goddamn night. That's why Skylar Diggins later bumped into her, because she's a cheap shot, dirty ass player. LeBron James does this a lot because he can't get past anybody no more. Now, let's rewind that back, since people think I don't know what I'm talking about. Now, we're going to do it again. You saw that? Extended that arm. By her using that arm, she pushes her off balance. So now Jewel Lloyd has to try to gather herself to cut her off to the point. But Cece's going to get there and gets the score plus the foul. But that should have been a turnover at the top of the key, because you can't extend the arm. This is what LeBron does all the time. Now we're going to do it again. Saw that? Extended it. Extended that arm. So she pulled that arm out like this. She pushed. That's a push off. You cannot do that. And they're allowing her to do it because she's the lead. But y'all keep telling me she's so special. No, she's allowed to push off. She did that in college. And she's throwing that elbow. She's throwing that elbow. Right? Can't do that. That's why she got it. So she's extending that arm a lot. And she's a great transition player. So all she does is run transition. Now, here's another offensive foul they're not going to call. Now, you see her right here, right? Number 32 is on her. Now, watch this. She's going to extend that left arm. You see her? Extending that left arm. Now, watch. As she gets close, she used that left arm to hit her here in the abs. That's an offensive foul. You can't extend the left arm. Now, you can hold the arm up like this, but you can't extend the arm. That's all she does is extend the arm the whole game. If she would have played back in the day, that arm would have got broke. But these players today ain't going to do that. But if she played back in the day, she would have got her arm broke. It would have been taken out of place. They tried to do that in the NBA. People would grab your arm and sling you to the ground, or to the floor in this case. So it's nothing special. She's doing a good job, but they're overhyping her, and this is what they do. When it comes to a white athlete or white player, that's all they do. Now, look at this. This is a perfect example. Look at her extending the arm. That is an offensive foul. You cannot extend your arm like this. And the referees are letting her get away with it. Look, she's looking right at her. Extending it. Now watch this. And this is fair use, Sack. Fair use, Sack. This is for commentary purposes only. She passed the ball off because she knows she can't do all that what she did to Skylar and the little white girl. Because this is a bigger defender. And Hole gets it and knocks the three down. But she's extending that arm. Can't do that. Look at this. This is all she does. I'm gonna say I'm making stuff up. Extending the arm in basketball can be an offensive foul if it prevents an opponent from making a legal play. A player shall not hold, push, charge into, impede the progress of an opponent by extending a hand, arm, leg, or knee by bending the body into a position that is not normal. So you're telling me she's not offensive fouling. That's all she's doing. When you're allowed to do that, you could do whatever you want. Now, we're going to go right back to it. I'm hating. Let's go back to it. Fair use, Sack. YouTube, fair use, Sack. Commentary purpose. Now, look at her extending the arm. She is impeding the defender's movement from getting over top. So by extending that arm, she's pushing the defender back. And this dumbass ref is watching it. But y'all tell me I'm hating, Shannon. No, it's not that she's dominating. She's getting away with pushing off and arm barring people. Just showed y'all the rule, right? Showed y'all the rule. But I don't know what I'm talking about. You cannot extend your arm. You cannot lower your arm or shoulder into a defender. That is an offensive foul. She does this every goddamn play. But y'all let her get away with it and y'all think it's great. But if anybody else does it, they get ridiculed. They get criticized, Shannon. Why aren't you showing that? Why aren't you showing the arm bars that she does? The play I just showed you where the girl pushed her because she was grabbing her arm. She does that all the time. She's grabbing people's arm. I showed you in the Sky game where she was hooking her arm around Lizzie Allen and Dana Evans. Y'all just looking like, man, no, man, that's fine. Because y'all love this white girl. That's the problem, Shannon. That's the problem. Caitlin Clark is a thug. She's a thug. And y'all not even calling the shit out. And it's crazy because I just never seen black people so blinded by white. Y'all were the same way. Y'all the same way, man. When Eminem rap, y'all always talk about, man, he the greatest, man. Y'all just mad because he white. Y'all always bring that bullshit up. So that's the stuff I'm showing you because you guys think it's real. I showed y'all the rule. The rule said that you can't extend the arm. But it's okay for her to extend the arm. God told me today earlier in the chat about it. Right? And this is all they're promoting. The Clark effect. You got all these mainstream outlets pushing this stuff. And this is the problem we have, Shannon, is that the media doesn't do this when it comes to black athletes. Whenever it's a white athlete who can play good or is half decent, they always over push them. This is the issue, and she's getting away with extending the arm and arm barring her opponents. But you're so blind. You're blind by the stardom or the whiteness because we know you prefer the white meat in your relationship. Well, I don't know. You reserve you like some type of meat in the relationship. So I don't even know what to tell you. And she's allowed to get away with that type of stuff. And people are tired of it. That is why Skylar Diggins bumped into you because you was doing that all game long. And they're making up all these narratives to push her because she's the media propaganda. That's all she is. See? Look at this. What is that? That's all she does. Offensive foul. That's her game. And they're going to give it to her because she's the great white height. That's what she is. The propaganda. Oh, here's a great picture of it. Here's the offensive foul. Oh, no, don't stop now. Here we go. See that? You see her grabbing her and extending that arm? That's an offensive foul. Because she's moving the defender out the way from being able to defend. But y'all tell me this is greatness. When people offensive foul. Ain't got no moves. Tell you, boy, y'all fall for the okie doke. I don't. Now, this is why I wanted to show you guys this. You guys probably think I'm hating, but it's cool. Now, let me show you this right here. This is why Caitlin Clark is being pushed. Recent figures show that media is still overwhelming white. See this? Many of the major media companies in the U.S. remain mostly white, with recent reports indicating that racial diversity is declining. WNBA, a media company that describes itself as a leading voice in the media and marketing industry, recently reported on the latest figures from top media companies like Condé Nast, Hearst. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm showing this. The majority of billionaires that own the major American media companies are white. Let me say that again. The majority of billionaires that own the major American media companies are white. When looking specifically at the racial diversity among journalists, although racial diversity has increased from previous year, journalism is still overwhelmingly white. Now, according to 2022, Pew Research Center survey says 76% of journalists surveyed were white. Let me repeat that again, because I don't think you guys are listening. This is why I'm saying Caitlin Clark and is being promoted. The reason the WNBA hasn't been promoted is because it's majority black. The players, not the upper echelon like the GMs, owners, or the board members. No, it's because the media is white. If they don't have their great white hope, they can't push it like they want to. In basketball, they push, of course, black athletes because that's what's been dominating. That's why they've softened the NBA up. That's why they've taken away the defenses, the hand checking, so they can get more white Europeans like Luka Doncic or Nikolai Joker and all of these people. 76% of journalists surveyed were white. 8% is identified as Hispanic. 6% is black, and only 3% as Asian. Now, civil rights activist Malcolm X once said, "The media is the most powerful entity on the earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and make the guilty innocent." Hold on. Let me repeat that, because you Tobys and Shelbys come to my page when I'm preaching facts to you. That is propaganda. Shannon Sharp, you're a part of the 6% that's propaganda of blacks. This is why we have a problem with Caitlin Clark. Not because of her play, she can play, but the overhypingness of her play, making it seem like she's the only one doing it by herself. She's the only one that's the real reason they're winning. No, this team has been being built for like 3 or 4 years. They added her. She was the final piece. Now they can flourish and be a playoff team, a dangerous playoff team at that. That's why I predicted them to be 6th before the season was over with. But you guys want to get mad at me because I'm not out here glazing this white girl. Let me read to you again what Malcolm X said, because I think you guys are stupid, because y'all are. Just like my boy Julian Riley, this dude Kevin Thomas, they're dumb. They're brainwashed. And it's not y'all fault. They pay millions of dollars to get you brainwashed. They pay millions of dollars. Civil rights activist Malcolm X once said, "The media is the most powerful entity on the earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent." Right? Hold on. Let me show you something. We're going to take that, right? And we're going to add it here. And we're going to add it to this segment. We're going to add it to this section. See? Malcolm X is talking about making her as the good guy, right? Right? Making her as the good guy. Look at all the media. Look at all the push. Look at all the push, but y'all fall for it. Toby right there. Tobying it up, ain't he? This girl been average all year, have one good game. Now look at her. Look at the media availability. Look how their videos are being done. This will end Reese. Look, making her look like the sad, poor little black girl and the uplifting white girl. Look at that. This is what they do. I know this because I got a degree in marketing. Look at this. Toby number 3. Right? She shoved me, right? Now Skylar Diggins is the bad guy now, right? But they didn't show you before in the game when she damn near knocked Skylar Diggins into the front row. See? That's that Malcolm X. But you guys wouldn't know anything about that. You wouldn't know anything about that. And the majority of billionaires that own the media companies are white. Right? They white. They are white. But yet, you guys are still thinking that y'all own some shit. Y'all think y'all niggas is still free? Y'all niggas ain't free. They brainwashing y'all every day. Writer Toni Morrison. The fact that most media companies are white-owned, coupled with the fact that the majority of those writing stories are white, means that the news we receive is white-centered. Let me say that again, because I think y'all are slow, because y'all are. The fact that most media companies are white-owned, coupled with the fact that the majority of those writing stories are white, means that the news we receive is white-centered. Now, writer Toni Morrison has spoken before about the white gaze and how it shows up in writing. The white gaze can be thought of as the assumed white audience that stories are crafted for. With media companies being overwhelmingly white, the white gaze may be more prevalent in the information that we consume. There is a wealth of evidence suggesting racism in the news headlines we read. Increasing diversity equates to more diverse perspectives, which is one way to mitigate this issue. Now, what are some specific strategies to address the lack of racial diversity within the media companies? The first consideration is the criteria to use hire journalists. Now, statistics indicate that white students earn 58% of journalism degrees. Yet, Pew Research Center data revealed that over 3/4 of journalists were white. Reevaluate the institutions that journalists are being hired from. Instead of focusing on the institutions where journalism degrees are earned, which are mostly predominantly white institutions, consider prioritizing other criteria like writing ability, personal qualities, and knowledge of the subject matter. That's the solution. But are they going to do it? No. And black people have been mind control since our ancestors were in slavery. And we're continuously being destroyed by it, by this Caitlin Clark stuff. See, this Clark is pushed. This is why they're pushing the WNBA, because they needed a white girl to be promoted so they can push the machine. This is the machine that Showtime earlier, myself, Foolan, Carcino, everybody talks about. 76% of all reporting journalists surveyed indicate that they are white. Look how many black it is. And I say it's 6% black, right? I guarantee you 3% out of that 6 are all Tobys and UTs like Stephen C. Smith, Shannon Sharp, aka Uncle Guzzler. This is why. But yet, y'all tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm not hating on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal player, but promote everybody else. Don't just promote her, promote the team. Show love to her teammates, not just the white ones, but the black ones. That's it. Now, here's another thing that's white genocide, white extinction, white genocide conspiracy theory. A conspiracy theory that claims there's the deliberate plot, often blamed on Jews, to cause the extinction of white people through forced assimilation, mass immigration, and/or violent genocide. A miscegenation, which is a marriage or mixture between people who are members of different races. See, I read all this stuff, bro. So y'all not dealing with somebody who just comes up here and spews stuff out. No, you're dealing with somebody who sees the bullshit. You guys are brainwashed, so y'all don't see the bullshit. Y'all just see highlights. That's all y'all do. All y'all do is see highlights. Now, the defenses, what happened to the defenses in the NBA? Basically, they said it was hurting viewership in pre-YouTube / social media era of the early 2000s. The NBA started adjusting defensive rules to make scoring easier, such as narrowing down the hand checking, adding a 3-second rule to prevent defenders from clogging the paint. That's why they're making defense ugly and making it seem like nobody likes it anymore. So they're doing this a lot. This is the thing. And see, this is what I'm telling you. It's dangerous. It's getting dangerous and dangerous by the day. And this is why Skylar Diggins pushed her, because she sees the propaganda. She knows what's going on. Everybody does. And nobody likes it. But they got to deal with it. Why? Because the media is controlled by billionaires. I just showed you guys. It's controlled by billionaires who are mainly white. So if you're expecting Angel Reese or any other sisters to get love, they're not. Angel Reese is only being pushed because they want her to be the villain, but Angel Reese made herself hot. She doesn't have a machine behind her. She doesn't have people pushing her up to the forefront. It's just all about Caitlyn. So this is why I talk about this every day, because they're pushing her because she's the great white hope, or in my case, the great white hype. Thank you for listening. I'm out. Deezy.